This is the only planche video that you'll ever need. Here we have the most common planche progressions: tuck planche, advanced tuck, straddle and full planche. You know, the longer the board it is, the harder it is. And there is a common belief that if you have, let's say, 7-8 seconds of a tuck planche, that will unlock your advanced tuck planche, which for 90% of the people is bullshit. At this point, you will most probably have 0 to 1 seconds maximum of advanced tuck planche with a trash form. Form that will make the activation totally different from the activation of the skill you're trying to reach. And we already know that when you're entering a new progression, you should have a decent form. I don't say perfect, but definitely decent. And later on, when you get more volume, you can clean it up. By the way, guys, let me know down in the comments which exact planche progression you're currently working on. I'm reading them all, so let's check you out. So today I'm gonna review my training method that helped hundreds of my students to pass through those hard phases. And that training method is actually implemented in my new app. Now, in case you're in between tuck and advanced tuck planche, all you need to do is to add one mini progression, half advanced tuck. The idea is to actually go halfway between tuck and advanced tuck. And if this thing is still too hard for you, then we can add a link that will make the progress smoother. Opening from tuck to half advanced tuck, or from half advanced tuck to advanced tuck, or just brief entries to any of these progressions. And in fact, by this way, you're working both on developing the strength needed for the next progressions and also working on the mind-muscle connections, because in calisthenics it's not all about how strong you are, but how you can activate all muscles at the same time. Okay, we get that, but again, probably you're gonna say, bro, but this is still too hard. I can't even right now progress. Then what we need to do is add 2 more progressions, which can be the half advanced tuck planche with a band and the advanced tuck planche again with a band. And in addition to that, we can also include those link exercises that will make all that progress smoother. And if after all that it's still too hard for you, then technically you should work to actually divide it into even more mini progressions, but the practice shows that it's actually making it harder to measure the progress, so better refrain from that. Now there is a problem for some of you, which is that you can't do a tuck planche. That's the first progression, so what you need to do is just extend that line and start as a first progression with just a normal support on parallels. And as a mini progression between that support and the first tuck planche, you can go for inclined tuck planche. In fact, that inclination is making the body shorter according to the horizontal axis, therefore the progression easier. And again, in between them, you can add some linking exercises, which can be from support to inclined tuck planche, or let's say even directly to tuck planche. As well, you can implement some planche leans. It's fine not to go all the way forward, just lean as much as you can. And also don't forget all the basic pushing exercises. For example, push-ups, dips. The push-ups, they always need to be with protraction, the dips with depression, like down. The ear should be away from the shoulder. That's about all you beginners. So now you know how to get to the tuck and the advanced tuck planche. And if you think that till now it was pretty hard, then look what's coming next, because from advanced tuck planche to straddle planche is where majority of the people give up. It's really the hardest one, just because the difference in the leverage and also the activation between both of those progressions is really huge. And if you pass through this over here, then it will be pretty easy. I mean, from straddle to full, it's still hard, but it's manageable. For the tuck positions, till now it was not mandatory to be doing those specific exercises that I've mentioned, but here for the straddle planche, I would definitely recommend you going for some weights work, hollow body positions, plank, scapula push-ups. Like, really keep it simple, but do it, because here we need that full body strength and activation that is missing into the tucked positions. Now, when we're progressing from advanced tuck to straddle planche, there are actually different ways. There are different people who learn it in a different way. For example, you know, some people are going from advanced tuck, slowly extending the legs, going through frog planche and getting finally to straddle planche. Some other people are, let's say, going from a handstand and slowly inclining till they get horizontal. But my personal favorite one is going from a pike straddle planche to less pike to getting the clean straddle planche. The more piked it is, the shorter again the body is in accordance to the horizontal axis. Let's add actually 2 mini progressions between the advanced tuck and straddle. We have first high pike straddle planche. Nobody's talking about it, so I'm giving it a name. Then low pike straddle planche. And here we have some link movements to make the progress smoother, which can be some fast entries to any of the progressions, including this time the straddle planche. And for those for who all that is still too hard, then by absolutely the same logic as we did between the tuck and the advanced tuck, we can again add some bands. So we have high pike straddle planche with a band, low pike straddle planche with a band, and before the straddle planche, again, the help of a band. By the way, for the bands, I recommend going for something light, let's say 2 to 7, 5 to 15 kilograms. Refrain from using too heavy bands just because they're supporting you too much and they're making the activation way different than the actual planche. So just look at the bands as a way to actually make that progress in the planche smoother and less riskier. Let's say that you already unlocked your straddle planche. Then your struggles are still not over because the full planche is coming, and that experience is not only physical but also mental. And really the practice shows that it's not the most efficient way to solely focus on the straddle planche to actually get your full planche, and a way better approach will be actually to also implement some progressions that are coming from the advanced planche with legs being together. That's because all those progressions are having a greater demand on the core and the posterior chain, just like in the full planche. And I was really stuck over here for a long time. Like I was doing only straddle planches for year and a half, something like this. I remember back in 2013, and I really didn't want to go back to advanced planche. And in fact, that's the problem of each of you who are only doing a straddle planche currently. Like many of you don't want to go back to the advanced because you'll be on the playground and you need to be doing things that doesn't look like a planche. And everybody around you know that you can do a planche already. So fuck everybody else, do the things that you need to do and get the goal. Now the logical questions that comes is, can I skip the straddle planche? I mean, can I go directly from advanced to full? And it's absolutely possible. I know some guys who actually made that, and it was more like just because they couldn't do a good split, like their split was like this, so it made no sense to do any straddle. But still, I'll recommend you doing first the straddle planche, mastering it first in order to have a smoother progress with less risk of injury, and work on progressions with the legs being close together. Now let's cover all those progressions that you need to take between the advanced planche and full planche. Let's put it over here, and in fact we're going to be using the same approach, absolutely the same one. I mean by slowly elongating the body till we get the full planche. So we have opened advanced planche, or however you want to call it, then half-lay planche. And again, between the progressions, you can add some link exercises to make the progress smoother. For example, between advanced tuck and opened advanced tuck, you can make those openings. Or if you want, you can go for brief entries into that opened advanced tuck. And before the half-lay and the full planche, you can go again for those brief entries. Or my personal favorite that I used to make before is swings on parallels to both of those progressions. So yeah, I think that is it in terms of bodyweight progressions, and I think for majority of you over here, you actually need the help of additional bands, just like we did over here. So for example, before going for the open advanced tuck, you can go for band assisted open advanced tuck, the same thing for the half-lay, and also go for full planche with a light band before reaching the ultimate goal, which is the bodyweight full planche. And if you have unlocked your full planche or any other progressions because of this channel, then write it down in the comments and make me proud. By the way, this exact system over here is built in my new app and people are already making a progress with it. There you can share your videos, get a feedback from me and join live Q&A sessions with me where I'm doing my best to help your journey. The app is called VIKTORY, so if you want to join right now and become part of the team, check out the link down in the description. So yeah guys, as you can see, it's not so complicated. The thing is that in those short form content that you're watching on Instagram, or other platforms, they're giving you information only about the tuck planche, the advanced tuck, straddle and full, which as I said in the beginning of the video, just not enough. I mean, if you're, let's say 43 kilograms, 150 with a gymnastics background, you can easily go through them, but for majority of you, the real work is over here. And you need to look at the main progressions as the milestones, like the summits that you need to conquer one after another. And if all that is still not working, then you just need to reconsider your speed. That means that you're going for progressions that you're still not ready for. And as I said, always go for progression that you can at least hold for 1 to 2 seconds with a decent form in order to actually be working in a proper activation. Because if the form is shit, then you're working in a totally different mind muscle activation that will not help you further. For example, this one is perfect, this one is fine, and this one is trash. So don't do it like the third one, don't be the trash. When you're going for a new progression that will be with a decent form, it means that first we'll work on the volume to get more seconds, then work on the form, then again volume, form, till you end up with a progression that is perfectly executed, and then you can continue for the next one. And in fact, that's something that I've already covered in my previous videos, so you can check them out. Wait for my next videos in which in practice I'm gonna cover the 3 main parts of the planche progress, which is from tuck to advance, advance to straddle, and straddle to full, because you see that today we're just looking at the general picture, but there's still a lot of technical details that it's better to be shown in practice. Let me know in the comments where exactly you are in your planche journey, what are your current struggles. I'm reading all of them and will do my best to reply. Stay strong, stay committed, and till next time. Now let's clean that.